This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance, and the year of recompenses, for the controversy of Zion. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahawashi, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahawashi. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahawashi is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, I want to title this lesson Yahawashi's Vengeance, because I was just meditating on when our Lord and Savior Yahawashi returns and how he's coming with vengeance, okay? And then I asked Chat GPT, is who the world calls, I had to put Jesus so they understand the way I'm phrasing it. Coming back happy or angry regarding his second return. And ChatGPT was on point with this statement from a straightforward reading of the New Testament. They didn't even want to go into the Old Testament. They just said the New Testament. The second coming of the Messiah, Yahawashi, that's his real name, okay? All right, his name is not Jesus for you wacky-tacky plantation Christians. The second coming of Yahawashi is primarily portrayed as a time of judgment, wrath against wickedness, and deliverance for the righteous, right? And the righteous, of course, are the elect of Israel. So, and again, that's why I brought out Isaiah chapter 34, verse 8, because when Yahawashi returns, he's coming back with vengeance, okay? And of course, recompense, meaning payback for the controversy of Zion, right? Because there's been a lot of lies being told throughout the world regarding who the chosen people are, okay? And the conditions the chosen people will be in, all right? And the chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, all right? And the real Jews from the tribe of Judah are the so-called Negroes today. That's a fact, okay? And that's why the Lord's coming back with vengeance and recompense, meaning payback, because of this controversy. Now, let's go into the word vengeance. What does vengeance mean? Vengeance is the infliction of punishment, harm, or retribution on someone in return for perceived or actual wrong they have committed. Now, this reminds me of Isaiah 47, because this is why Yahawashi is coming with vengeance. I'm going to start at verse 3, but the point is in 6. Isaiah chapter 47, verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen, right? Whose nakedness is being uncovered? Whose shame is being seen? All right? These Edomites, more specifically here in America, Babylon the Great, which is the power structure of their empire, America, Babylon the Great. And now, and everything's being revealed, all right, via the prophets. All right, everything's being uncovered, and that shameful spewing on their glory is occurring. This country's ran by pedos, weirdos. The leaders are engaged in what? Child sacrifice. Okay, that's why there's a heavy number of missing children. Okay. Also, again, um, the children of Israel are being oppressed, okay, by these devils, these Edomites, okay, who makes up the majority of the prison population, so-called blacks, Hispanics mainly. And then of course you got the in the so-called Native Americans, all right? But you can link up the so-called Native Americans with the so-called Hispanics because they're all from the Northern Kingdom. But this is the revealing. That's the point. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. Right. And again, the Lord is going to take vengeance, Yahawashi's vengeance, okay, for those that have committed harm, all right, for those that have committed wrongdoing against, all right, his people and of course the earth that he created, all right, along with his with the angels, okay, because the Lord said he's coming back to destroy those that destroyed the earth, right? And we know the earth is polluted, okay, it's becoming uninhabitable. Revelation chapter 11 verse 18, and the nations were angry, right? It's talking about these heathens. And thy wrath has come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged. Right, again, who's the dead? The heathens, all right? They don't have, all right, the spirit of Yahawashi Yahawashi, okay, in them, all right? They were created to be servants for us, all right, to be slaves for us. That's a fact, all right? That's why they're dead, okay? They don't have the Rakah Kodash, the Spirit Holy, in them, all right? That they should be judged, and that thou shouldst give reward unto thy servants, the prophets and the saints, which are Israelites, and them that fear thy name. Again, you need to know the name, okay? Like Yahawashi, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. Again, all right, that's why the Lord Yahawashi is coming with vengeance, okay, for those that have committed harm to the earth, as well as, okay, let's go back to Isaiah 47, continuing on in the 4th verse, as well as to bring vengeance to those that have harmed the children of Israel. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Right, it's all about Israel. 5. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Right, and this is, okay, addressed to America, Babylon the Great. Okay, that's why it says the daughter of the Chaldeans. All right, that's why it says up here in Isaiah chapter 47 verse 1, O come down and sit in the dust, meaning confusion, O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, and this is referring to America, Babylon the Great. All right, and which nation is ruling America, Babylon the Great? Edom. All right, because when you go to Isaiah 47, 147, well, not Isaiah 147, Psalm 147, excuse me. Psalm 147, no, sorry, Psalm 137. There we go. Psalm 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom. Edom represents the so-called white man, and they're in the rulership today. That's why when the scriptures say the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, and he covered the face of the judges thereof, if not, where and who is he? That's speaking of the so-called white man, who are the biblical Edomites. In the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. So there you go. All right? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That's how you connect the dots. That's how we know when we read Isaiah, okay, the 47th chapter, this is talking about America, Babylon the Great. So back to Isaiah chapter 47, verse, I'm going to read 1 again. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. All right. Back to Isaiah chapter 47, verse 5. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Right, because, all right, you're going to be destroyed. All right, this is all right, parabolic speaking. Okay, a parable. All right, what does it mean get into darkness? All right, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. It means you're going to be destroyed. Okay, 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. Right. Okay, it was the Lord's will that were found in your hand. All right, because of our disobedience. This is the reason why the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child are at the bottom catching hell. All right, because this is the Lord punishing us. All right, for being disobedient. However, all right, what did the Lord say after that? Thou didst show them no mercy. You see that? That's why Yahawashi is coming with vengeance. All right, because you have shown no mercy. All right, from the food that you're giving us to the medical malpractice that you're giving us. All right, again, the prison industrial complex. I mean, we're talking about private prisons that are set up strictly for profit, meaning that these prisons have to have bodies, in them. All right, so you already know there's an incentive which causes what? Okay, moral hazard. All right, that's why Yahawashi is coming with a vengeance to get you crooked cops, you crooked lawyers, you crooked FBI agents. Okay, and the list goes down. Do you understand how angry Yahawashi, who the world calls Jesus, is? You don't think he's watching you, motherfuckers? All right, what you're doing to his people? All right, a day of reckoning is coming, and you're all going to eat his wrath, Yahawashi's vengeance. Upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. Verse 7, and thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. You see that? Okay, now let's go back to ChatGPT because I'm going to GMS breakdown. All right, because this is how it's broken down. This is all facts. And so I went down to the again from what I said right here. I just wanted to get the Great Millstone perspective because this is the proper breakdown from the perspective of Great Millstone Hebrew Israelite camp. The return of Yahawashi. Look, they even spelt it right. The name they use for that's not his name is emphasized even more at a time of wrath and vengeance against the present world order. You see that? Against the present world order. All right? That's very important. Who's ruling in the present world order? The Edomites, so-called white people. Starting with them JJs, them 1940s, them Ish people. Okay? And that's why you average Edomites, you loser, two-time Edomites. The problems with them JJs, because they took, all right, your blessing away. All right? Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. They didn't give you a piece of the blessing. Okay? They were withholding it, or they took it from you. Okay? Because this is your time to rule. All right? Now you're broke. You're drug addicts. Your women don't want you. Your women want the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man. Okay? So yeah, you're through. Okay? So if you have anyone to blame yourself and blame those JJs. All right? Because this is part of your judgment. Especially against what they identified as the kingdom of Esau, Edom, and those opposing God's people. Look at that. Opposing God's people. Who are God's people? The 12 tribes of Israel. All right? Real quickly. This is why in the book of James, all right, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to jump to James 5 because we're going to find out, okay, what the Lord's going to do for those that are opposing or oppressing God's chosen people, the God of Israel's chosen people. James 1:1. Now, James is the brother of Yahawashi, right? A servant of God and the Lord Yahawashi Mashiach to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting, right? Because they're not gathered yet. Yahawashi is going to do the gathering, all right? When he brings about his vengeance, okay? The redemption of his people. Now, let's go to James chapter 5. Check this out. Verse 4. So now we know this whole book of James is addressed to the 12 tribes of Israel. So let's not be stupid or simple, you wacky-tacky plantation Christians, or you pseudo-Hebrew Israelites that have sold out, all right, for FRNs. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, right? Okay, there's so many reports, so many documentation of you Edomites defrauding the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man, starting with the so-called black man. Okay, so you're defrauding the God's chosen people. Do you understand that? Why Yahawashi is coming with a vengeance to kill and destroy? Okay, you SOBs, kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth. Now, when you go into the word Sabaoth, this does not mean Sabbath, ISUPK, all right? Sabaoth, okay, which clearly means Lord of the armies of Israel, as those who are under the leadership and protection of Yahawashi maintain his cause in war. So this is the reason why Yahawashi is coming for war. This is the cause, okay? Because he hears the cries of his people, all right? Yahawashi's vengeance, because you've done nothing but harm, all right? This is to you Edomites, you so-called white people, and the rest of you heathens, all right? All you heathens are going to get it. But Esau, Edom is public enemy number one on Yahawashi's mind. So let's keep reading. It goes on and says, GMS commonly cites passages such as Isaiah chapter 63 verse 1. Powerful. Bow. Movie. This is the Lord's movie. It's heavy. Okay? Who is this that cometh from Edom? Well, look at the title. God's vengeance on the nations. So heathens can't be saved. Okay? Anyone teaching that heathens can be saved, that, all right, they have salvation is lying. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This Basra represents America, the capital of Edom's empire. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness mighty to save. Right, this reminded me also of Isaiah 49, because Yahawashi say he's coming for the mighty men of Basra. Fuck around and find out. Ooh, Yahawashi's vengeance. Yahawashi's vengeance. Okay? Listen up. Jeremiah 49. I'm excited. It's Jeremiah 49. Check this out. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 49 verse 22. Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle and spread his wings over Basra. And in that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of woman in her pangs. Right? Okay? So Yahawashi is coming for America. He wants to meet America up close and personal for vengeance. All right? Vengeance. That's the title. Yahawashi's vengeance. All right? The recompense, okay, for over the controversy of Zion. Isaiah chapter 63 verse 2. Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat. Right, this is symbolic. This is the amount of killing that Yahawashi is going to be doing. 3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. So again, Yahawashi's vengeance. He's going to be killing and destroying and maiming, all right? Destroying buildings, infrastructure, bridges, okay? All right? Businesses, okay? Roads, everything's going to be destroyed by Yahawashi, okay? As well as the nukes, okay? The nuclear missiles. 4, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemer is come. You see that? Vengeance. All right, let's go to the Hebrew word of vengeance, and I'll close out with that. All right? The Hebrew word is naquam. This is a na, this is a qua, this is a ma. Naquam, vengeance. Vengeance. Revenge, avenge, quarrel, vengeance. Okay? Let me see if they got any more. Vengeance, revenge. Followed by the vengeance which Yahawashi takes elsewhere objectively. Vengeance for slaughter. 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 Wait a minute. Doesn't the scriptures talk about slaughter? Yup. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. Right. And you Edomites, you are your fathers. All right. That's why you're back here to get your judgment. All you Edomites that were slave owners that did the so-called Negro, okay, grimy, dirty, all right, chopping off ears and noses and groins. Yeah, the Lord saw all that. And that's why you Edomites are back here today to now pay the piper. Okay? Now it's time for Yahawashi's vengeance upon you. The slaughter. They that do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. Right. All right, so this is your last hoorah. America, after America, there is no more extension or, okay, a revival of an Edomite empire. IUIC, okay? Talking about after 1,000 years, Gog and Magog are going to be, Gog is going to somehow, which are the Russians, somehow come out of their captivity, all right, and overtake the kingdom of Yahawashi Yahawashi. That's all BS, okay? But we notice you haven't brought that out because you look stupid bringing that out. You looked like a novice because the scriptures talk about that once Yahawashi returns, that's it. The kingdom of heaven is established forever and ever. It's a fact. So let me read this one more time and I'll close out. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. Oh, for our people, the elect out of the nation of Israel. Isaiah chapter 35, verse 4. Say to them that are fearful heart, right? It's not a time to be weary, time to be scared. Be strong, fear not. Behold, your power, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, will come with vengeance. Even power with recompense, he will come and save you. Right. All right, so you got to believe. Only believe, man. We're going to be saved from this captivity. All right? This devil ain't going to rule, all right, forever. He has a short time, okay? And Yahawashi is bringing vengeance to him, all right? So you should be looking forward to this. So Lord willing, this less edifying. They bring out more scriptures, which is, again, we at GMS, we bring out the scriptures. That's why ChatGPT brings it out, because we're known for bringing out these scriptures. I'll close out with this. In that interpretation, Yahawashi does not return as the suffering servant of his first coming, but as a conquering king, bringing judgment, establishing the kingdom to Israel. Facts. That's why in the book of Acts chapter 1, the disciples asked Yahawashi, after Yahawashi rose from the dead, okay, and he was amongst them, said, well, at this time, will you restore, all right, Israel, okay? Will you restore the kingdom to Israel? All right? And then Yahawashi told them, it's not for you to know the times, okay? All right? Because the word had to go out, all right, over here in the Western Hemisphere. And now the word is out. Now it's time for the kingdom to be established. Now it's time for Yahawashi's vengeance on our enemies, all right? So, Lord willing, let's edify. I want to give all praises, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Wakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it in the word, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostle elders. Hey, Yahawashi is coming with vengeance. It's going to be spicy. To the few that are watching, keep studying when you pray. Pray, Chad, cover, shalom.